The following is a Papi Chulo Radio original program. The views and opinions expressed in the commentaries and/or interviews in the following program are solely those of the individuals and are not views of Papi Chulo Radio, its parent, affiliate, or subsidiary companies.
Welcome to Are You Afraid? Scream Queens, the unofficial Scream Queens internet radio show exclusively on Papi Chulo Radio. Today is Sunday, November 22nd, 2015, and I'm your host, Papi Chulo. During tonight's broadcast, we're going to recap, review, and dissect the latest episode of Scream Queens. Later on in the broadcast, get ready for a spoiler alert as we bring you the hit Fox series' casting scoops, spoilers, and ratings. Please welcome my co-hosts. First up, he's a good man with powerful arms and a sexy accent. It's Wilson Hammond Jr.
Hey, I like that intro. What's up, y'all?
Next up, you know what his shirt's made of? Boyfriend material. It's Prince Rico Suave.
Hey, damn, I hope I get boyfriend now that I have a boyfriend material shirt.
And last but not least, will she choose the red toilet paper roll or the blue toilet paper roll? No one will ever know. It's Priscilla.
Oh my god. How about neither?
All right now, if you want to walk around smushing stuff.
Ew, gross! That's finding is what I meant. That's gross.
Okay. She'll use the bidet instead.
Isn't that what the Japanese girl was using?
I think that was just a toilet.
But she's squatting weird on it, and she died like there's no toilet there. So I think
That's how
died.
they do it in Japan.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
They have a different system or something, because I was like, what? She didn't die on a toilet. That looks weird.
No, they do. All of like that side of America has a different way of waste and toiletry.
Huh.
Like our system is completely different than their system.
They use the 3 seashells.
Oh,
and
not
toilets are way smaller. So if you're fat, don't ever go to Europe because you're gonna struggle sitting on toilet seats.
The struggle is real for fat people over there.
Yes, it's
Right.
that's your weekly
Hey,
tip
fat-
on etiquette from Prince Rico Suave. On that
Hey,
note,
yo, fat-
You know.
the more you know, yes. On that note, let's jump into our recap of episode 109, which was titled, appropriately enough, Ghost Stories, and it aired on November 17th, 2015. Here's the official synopsis of the episode. Denise does little to calm the Kappa's fears when she spins a terrifying ghost story. Meanwhile, Hester's shocking announcement pushes Chanel to the edge, and a familiar face returns to campus as the Red Devil claims another victim. Dun dun dun. So let's get everyone's initial reaction to the episode. We'll start off with Priscilla.
Well, like one of my other like pet horror things is like Japanese horror. So when they like gave a nod to that, I'm like, oh my god, this is already gonna start to be a good episode. And it has Denise Hemphill and Chad. So ramping up to be like the best episode ever. And I think Wilson might like love the killings. So I don't know. It wasn't my favorite, but it was up there. It's a good episode.
Wilson, what about you? What'd you think of the episode?
More murder, more murder, more murder. I loved it. It wasn't like the best.
We got a
episode
song
of
and
the
everything.
Oh yeah, but we had some. I like the surprise. Like I can't say the surprise killings, but some of them were. I didn't expect the 2 or 3 of those like deaths to happen the way that they did, and I guess maybe the timing just made them like perfect. I was like, oh, like awesome. So yeah, this is one of my favorite episodes of the season. Uh, yeah, it had a couple of twists and turns in it that really just kind of woke me up. Like, how do I say? Like, I kind of there were a couple lulls here in the season. And I was like, man, we're getting towards the last few episodes here. We got to pick it up, and this episode definitely picked it up for me.
Awesome. And Prince, what did you think of the episode?
I enjoyed it. It was a lot more excitement because I guess that's where we're kind of raring to towards the finale. So I love that we're getting closer to getting the answers that we need. We're getting a lot more action because not everybody's gonna survive, so we got to kill off characters now. And I also like the little homage that they paid to like urban legends, like the hook meat story and stuff like that. Like I love the ghost stories because some of them were like made up for the episode for the show, and then other ones were like retold, but they're like typical urban legends that we've all heard at least once or twice in our lives. So I like that too because how you have Scream Queens, based on a whole, they show us different aspects, different layers of different horror that we've all seen throughout our growing up. If you're a horror movie buff. So I like that.
Yeah, I agree with everyone. I really enjoyed the episode. I loved the ghost stories, and I love how we could see the ghost stories. It wasn't just Denise sort of telling the stories. We actually had some video of like what these ghost stories were about, which was awesome. Loved the Japanese horror as well, and it was hilarious. I mean, you can't go wrong with a whole lot of Denise, a whole lot of Chad, even Hester with her freaky self. We'll see, and that kind of stuff. It's fantastic. It was a great episode, and of course the killings. I mean, we knew that they'd have to start killing some people that we knew and saw on the regular. So it was nice that that started to happen, and certainly it's going to be getting amped up as the series heads to the season finale. So let's get into the episode, and I want to start off by actually talking about the ghost stories because I thought that was such an interesting motif that they chose to use for this episode. Sort of telling ghost stories, showing us, with a visual interpretation of what is being described and that kind of thing. We had basically Denise was trying to calm everyone's fears in the Kappa house from the Red Devil Killer, them seeing the quote-unquote ghost of Boone, which we'll get into in a little bit, and that kind of thing. So she started telling ghost stories because apparently if you're scared of something, like if you're scared of ISIS coming into your house, you got to tell yourself ghost stories so you're more scared of the ghost stories than, the other thing that you're trying not to be scared of, which, I don't know, I guess that makes sense for some people.
Weirdly does make sense because I have done that before.
You'll tell yourself a ghost story?
Well, no, I'll watch a horror movie and then be like, okay, I'm not scared of something that's like actually scary because I'm concentrating on that. It made sense to me.
Well, there you go. So there was a ghost story about a hairy-armed old lady. There was all these weird ghost stories, but then we finally got into the interesting stories, the one that we actually could see visually, and we learn about the Kappa. And it's actually a ghost story, which you can look it up. You can Google Schmoogle it, and you'll find it. And basically, I'll go over what the Wikipedia says. The Kappa have been used to warn children of the dangers lurking in rivers and lakes. It has been suggested that the Kappa legends are based on the Japanese giant salamander, or Hanzaki, an aggressive salamander that grabs its prey with its powerful jaws. In appearance, the Kappa is typically depicted as roughly humanoid in form and about the size of a child. Its scaly, reptilian skin ranges in color from green to yellow or blue. Kappa supposedly inhabit the ponds and rivers of Japan and have various features to aid them in this environment, such as webbed hands and feet.
And
In
now they live in the sewer.
Yes, in Scream Queens, basically it's this creature, an amphibious monster that pulls unsuspecting urinators or poopers into the toilet and drowns them, grabs them from the vagina and pulls them in so that they can rot in their broken body in the sewage. Exciting,
Someone's
right?
been watching American Horror Story, because that sounds like something that would come out there as an
Exactly.
actual monster.
Actually, no. You know, it's funny when they said it grabbed them by the vagina. I was kind of thinking of Chanel Number 5 with her.
Oh, with the vagina dentata,
Yes, with the vagina. Yes.
That's too funny.
That-
she bites back and when it tries to grab her. That would be
Yes, that's what I was thinking. I was just like, imagine if it was like Chanel Number 5 instead of this random Asian chick. Like, how much funnier this would have been.
That's too funny. And then she also tells the story of the Red Cape, which is a Japanese urban legend. It's called the Aka Manto, and you can Google it as well to get more information, but I'll read a little bit from the wiki. The Akamanto, or Red Cape, is a Japanese urban legend about a malicious spirit who haunts public and school toilets, who will ask you if you want red paper or blue paper. In some versions, he will ask you if you want a red or blue cape. Often described as a beautiful man in life and hounded constantly by admirers, he now wears a mask to hide his face. And the legend goes as this. If you are sitting on the toilet, usually the last stall, a mysterious voice will ask you if you want red paper or blue paper. If you answer red paper, you will be sliced apart until your clothes are stained red. If you choose blue paper, you will be strangled until your face turns blue. Any attempt to outsmart Akamanto by asking for a different color will result in you being dragged to the netherworld. The only correct answer is to say no paper, and he will leave you alone.
See? Aha! Got it right. I survived.
Exactly. And so let's focus sort of on this section, because there are other stories, but they kind of correlate with the rest of the plot. So let's focus on these Japanese inspired ghost stories. What do we think when we saw them being portrayed in the series?
They did like the whole series has been kind of like a nod to 80s and 90s films, but the nod to like Japanese horror and how silly it can be, like with those stories. Like it sounds silly to me. I don't know, it might actually be scary to some people, but to me it's like it sounds funny. So to have put that in there, like it's awesome. It was
I
funny.
wouldn't mess you up a little bit, Priscilla. If you're in the restroom, in a public restroom at that, no one wants to use the public restroom, and then a man's voice in the restroom says, "Hey, you want red paper or blue paper?" First of all, you can be like, "I mean, what the fuck are you talking about?" And second, like, why are you in our bathroom? So you already gave two wrong answers. You're gonna get drugged to another world.
You can't. Will, you can't say that because we live in 2015. It could have been just Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? Why would
Do you want red or blue paper? And it's Caitlyn Jenner. Like, you can't get offended. You just gotta be like, neither. I don't know.
Why are you responding to people talking to you in the bathroom? That is not a place to talk.
Right. I'm like, dude, what the I'd probably get killed instantly. I'd be like, hey, man, go fuck your mother, dude. Are you serious? I'm taking a shit. Like,
well, that's one way to anger the red cloak man.
Man,
I'd be like, battleships on.
Oh, not battleships. But that I did like and then you know how it kind of like I like that, like the whole showing, not giving nods to other, because they really are. That's the like Priscilla said, the whole show is just a nod to other horror films. We've said that a million times over, but they just make it more and more evident every week, like how extensive their knowledge of the horror genre really is. I mean, they touch on even the most obscure things. The only thing I haven't really seen is stuff like the Leprechaun and like just totally outlandish horror concepts.
We did get Leprechaun. Do you remember?
You know what? We did get Leprechaun. Now, you know what? So that's the point. Like it touches on so many different things. Like once you actually get into the show, you start to notice all the little subtle nuances, like all the little nods. And I think that's what keeps a lot of us like so interested beyond just the Red Devil, who's the Red Devil, and all this other stuff. And you know, even if we didn't see all of that stuff, we'd still get a little bit to move on and want to see the next episode of Scream Queens, because all the other different things that they kind of gave a little salute to in the previous week. So
can I just say I love seeing the creature popping out of the toilet.
Yeah, that's creepy to me.
That
I
was
don't like
fantastic.
popping out of my toilet. I'm not fond of anything popping out of my toilet.
Okay.
I'm just like, I had a really bad story. I heard a bad story about snakes and stuff popping out of your toilet.
Well, that's why you flush the toilet before you sit on it.
Is that going to wash a snake down? I don't know if that's how that works.
I don't know either.
And now you're gonna have people checking their toilets.
I don't know. People are weird. And then I heard in Florida, alligators. Oh, I don't know if that's true because baby alligators. But people flush weird things down the toilet.
That's true.
That is true.
And they come and they recycle. And you know, the toilet's like recycling, so it comes back.
Toilet stories are always. They're not scary. They're gross.
Thank you. That's what it is. It's more gross. It's just like that's the one place I'm supposed to be able to have like a moment to myself, and now I'm gonna die on the toilet.
Oh my God.
That's just nasty. And it's like
eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I'm not over it.
God.
Come on.
Oh, that would be peanut butter and banana sandwich.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got a little bit more class than to eat on the toilet. What am I, geek in high school? Like, no.
Oh my. Good grief. Well, on that note, let's get into the story at hand of this episode, titled Ghost Stories. So we start off the episode with Boone. He's disguised as Walking Phoenix, I guess, instead of Joaquin Phoenix. And everyone, you know, is like, oh, it's you, right? Gladiator, this, that, or the other. And so his disguise starts to fall apart. And there she is, Chanel number 3. And she's like, it's you. And he's like, no, I'm Joaquin Phoenix. And he tricks her into thinking that he's the ghost of Boone, basically. Because she's like, no, it's you, Boone. And she buys it. So she tells the other girls that she has been haunted by Big Gay Boone. Yes, by Big Gay Pledge Boone.
No, it wasn't that. It was Dead
Gay Pledge Boone.
Dead Gay Boone.
Dead Gay Boone. Yeah, Dead Gay Boone. Yes. Because I thought that was the best line of the whole episode.
Of course I'm hammered because I'm being followed by Dead Gay Boone.
Yes, right. Like, of course I'd have a hangover. I got hammered after I saw the ghost of Dead Gay Boone. And everyone's just like looking at her like, really? That's your excuse to get hammered?
Why not? And so that's when Denise tells them a couple of ghost stories to take the Chanel's mind off of the Red Devil and Boone's ghost. But of course, the stories only make the Chanels even more frightened.
Step number 6, who's a freak.
Exactly. She wanted to hear more because she loves her some ghost stories. Chanel, around the same time, Chanel number 1 lets everyone know that she will be going to Chad Radwell's house for Thanksgiving because they are now officially together, and so she will be visiting the compound, which apparently is haunted anyway, and, sometimes your soda turns into blood and this, that, or the other, but it's a whole lot of fun, according to Chad.
It sounds fun if you're not gonna die.
Well, not for nothing. And I kind of feel like that was like the perfect example on why like maybe Chad is tapped in the head.
Okay.
It's maybe like the house. Maybe that's why he's like into that whole like dead stuff and all that creepy.
Because he's had a lot of ghost sex in his life.
Yes, he had a lot of ghost sex. He was tapping that ghost from behind. Wax on, wax off, Mr. Miyagi.
Exactly. Speaking of,
I don't think that's what Mr. Miyagi was talking about.
Yes. Speaking of wax on, wax off, Boone plays a visit to Chad, who Chad also thinks he's a ghost, and basically he asks Chad if he can borrow, his favorite shirt, and that kind of thing, and saying that the only way for him to be among the living will be if he has sex with Zayday. Great sex. Because straight sex, yes.
Dead gay. Because he's dead gay Boone.
Exactly, he's dead gay Boone, so he has to have straight sex so that he can finally return to life and no longer be a ghost. And Chad believes everything that he's saying, and so he agrees. Later on, we have Zayday and we have Earl Grey, and they're sitting on Zayday's bed, and Earl basically like lets Zayday know. He's like, "Hey, we haven't even had our first kiss yet." So they begin to make out, but then Earl stops him, saying that he wants everything to be perfect. He's got to have his robe. He's got to have chocolate covered strawberries and champagne and all this kind of stuff. And so he leaves to go get that, and Zayday's like, you got all that ready to go? And she's like, all right, playa. So he disappears, and then bam, out of the blue, climbing up the ladder into her room is Dead Gay Boone. And he's trying to seduce Zayday, still pretending to be a
With
ghost.
a bouquet that looks like from H-E-B or something. What the hell?
I don't know what H-E-B is, but I'm assuming that's cheap.
Walmart then.
Oh, okay, there you go. From the dollar store, from the Dollar Tree.
Oh my god.
And so basically he's telling her, I'm a ghost, and this is that or the other, but Zayday actually has some sense in her head, and she's like, you ain't no ghost. I ain't afraid of no ghost. And that's when she realizes, you must be one of the killers. That's why you faked your death. Grace walks in, realizes everything that's going on, and so they try to drag him away so that they can turn him in, but he shoves them and falls out the window. But as soon as they look out the window, he has disappeared. So Earl Grey returns, with all his stuff ready to go, ready to get ready to dip into some Zayday, but he is fatally stabbed by the Red Devil. And before Earl Grey dies, the Red Devil removes his mask and reveals to him that it is Dead Gay Boone, who's not really dead and not really gay, as we find out later on, at all.
Is he even really Boone?
Who knows? So let's pause right here and discuss everything that's gone on, from the whole thing with Boone, his visitations with Chanel number 3 and Chad, and everything Zayday and Earl Grey, and of course, the death of Earl Grey.
Oh my god. At the time when he's like, so how's Zayday doing? I'm just like, wait, he's the one that would Zayday? Didn't they say he was gay? Are they saying that he's bi now? Like, they had to explain the entire thing, and yeah, it made sense to me at the very end. I was like, what? That surprised the hell out of me. I did not expect that he was gay for pay or something.
I still didn't understand why he was gay for pay. That was my whole question, because even after he explained it, he never really explained why he actually had to pretend to be gay for pay. Because, that had nothing to do with nothing. There wasn't even that many gay characters for them to be like, oh, well, to get close to this guy, to kill him, and then this and that and so forth. They weren't even accepting of him being gay.
It was the perfect cover.
It just didn't really seem like a perfect cover at all. Why couldn't he just be Boone? Why do you have to be Boone coming out the closet Boone? Because not for nothing, they didn't know he was gay at first.
That's true. He was
so
hiding
what was the whole gay cover for?
But only Chad knew he was gay. But what was the point if he was gay if only one person knows he's gay?
Exactly. No one knew he was gay until Chad accidentally let it out to the girls and the guys. But that was right before Boone died anyways. So it wasn't he had a whole gay moment. So I guess except for when he got it how do you get a boner with if he's
Chad?
Not gay? Yes. If you're not gay, then why did you get a boner with Chad? No, because he seemed upset that he had to be gay. I don't get it. Shit's not adding up. You are gay, Boone. He's gay, Boone. No, you know what it was? He's straight Boone, but he's gay Nick. So Nick had to be gay for pay to be Boone.
I think you're convoluting the entire. You made it more confusing at the very end than I thought it was going to be.
No, Nick's gay. Nick's gay, so he had to get paid to be Boone and play a gay character. So the gay guy had to play a gay for pay bitch.
On a completely other note, while I save us from this conversation, Earl Grey died. Is anybody sad?
No.
No, because he was hardly there. He came in, gave us his little accent, and disappeared for 3 episodes. Come back, give his accent, and disappear again. So I'm like, dude, you should have probably been dead a lot earlier.
Wilson.
I'm like Wilson.
Wait, no, go ahead, Priscilla.
I'm like Wilson. Death is awesome. So Boone dying was yay! Another candle lit here, like on the altar of like death or something. Like it's cool. Although I will say his death was really like anticlimactic. I think Wilson was the one that was just kind of like before in a couple of episodes. He's like, why are these people just getting stabbed? Like, why isn't it all crazy different? And yeah, that was disappointing to me.
Yeah. Wilson, do you approve of how Earl Grey was killed?
It was kind of. I don't know if you guys seen this movie Black Dynamite, starring Michael John White.
Yes.
But in part of it, like it's a movie making fun of blaxploitation movies, and pretty much in one scene, one of the guys, he was talking about going home and seeing his family and getting out of the revolution. And as soon as he got done saying that line, he got killed. And Michael John White's character was like, Did anybody see who saw that coming, or which way that was coming from? Kind of like everybody saw that, or everybody knew Earl Grey was gonna die. And it was kind of like as soon as he came, like when he left to go get, I was like, he's gonna die when he comes back. And then when we saw Boone, for sure, like, yeah, he's gonna die. Boone was there, you're gonna die, bro. Like, so it was kind of anticlimactic, but it was kind of like, yeah, I'm glad you gave us the obvious kill. Now who is coming next? When Earl Grey died, I knew that someone else more important was gonna die. And I'm like Priscilla led into, I'm glad it was Boone, because I don't know what it was, just about having Boone get killed by a Red Devil after revealing that he was a Red Devil, and we already knew that he was a Red Devil, and then killed somebody in a super obvious scene where he didn't explain why he would have been straight in the first place. Like Rico was saying, yeah.
It just simplifies everything to have him die.
Well, pause a second, because we haven't gotten to the part where we're going to talk about Boone dying.
Well,
Thank you, Wilson.
Just in general, I felt like they kind of killed off like the actors, not really the characters. I feel like if the characters were done by different actors, they might have prolonged the deaths a little bit further.
Well, I don't think so. It's getting towards the end of the season. They have to start killing the people.
I get that too.
Yeah.
Well, I know they have to obviously kill people off, but I'm just saying, like, I think a change of characters, like death lifts, would have been different if it was different people. I feel like with Nick Jonas's music career and everything else, he was hardly on the show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't on every episode. Anybody could have put on, any.
Ari was only in 2 episodes.
But that's what I mean. And that's why she died earlier, because she wasn't a Red Devil.
Well, I think some of it was stunt casting, to be quite honest. To get people to talk about it. Oh, so-so is going to be on it. Oh, okay. Much like,
pretty much.
On the other Ryan Murphy show, Lady Gaga. I mean, Lady Gaga is, in my opinion, stunt casting. They needed someone big that would bring in the viewers, especially once they knew that their number one diva, Jessica Lange, wasn't going to be returning.
Nah, it's so Ryan Murphy can get selfies with more of these like music playlist celebrities.
Well, there you go. And to also get them on for new seasons of Scream Queens and American Horror Story. So, okay, getting back into the show, a couple things happened, continuing on with the story. So, Chanel introduces everyone to the thing that's called the Radwell Silver Turkey Wishbone Necklace. And basically, they talk about Thanksgiving at the Radwell house, and every Radwell girlfriend, except for one, who's been gifted the necklace and ends up with a engagement ring by Christmas. So Chanel believes that she is going to land herself a rich husband, which is going to make her even more rich.
Anyone who gets a bone will get the bone forever.
Exactly, basically. And so someone else with a different thing on her neck, a neck brace that is, a Chanel number 6, she has to put her neck brace back on because her spinal column is collapsing, so she decides to bedazzle it. She visits Chad Radwell, and he's vacuum packing his clothes. And because, of course, he didn't minor in luggage sciences with an emphasis in packing theory for nothing. Cha-ching. And she demands an answer as to why she wasn't invited. And basically, he goes through a list of things, her poo belly, her hamburger breath, and...
I could not stop laughing at that part. Like,
when I
breath smells like cheeseburger.
When I make out with you, it's like making out with the hamburger. Like, that had me dying.
Exactly. And of course it's because she's poor. She's not rich. And she needs to get with someone who's filthy rich.
And the Winnie the Pooh belly in the
The Pooh belly has stuck around since the first episode, which cracks me up.
Oh my god, I love it.
And so, Chanel number 6 ends up leaving, and she ends up saying, "We'll see." And they have this great banter back and forth. He's like, "Of course we will see, because see, it's in the future, and like we gotta get to the future, so we gotta see." And like that isn't exactly what he said, but it was hilarious. And so Chanel number 6 ends up devising a pregnancy scheme to score a first-class ticket to the Radwells. And so she announces to everyone that she is pregnant with Chad Radwell's baby. Dun dun dun. Meanwhile, as all this crap is going on, the ghost stories that the girls have been telling and listening to start happening in real life. Oh no, our homegirl, Denise Hemphill, she decides to go to the bathroom. She's got to go real bad because she's even making, the pee or the poop music. She's like, ooh, 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 and a ooh, ooh, ooh. And so she heads into the bathroom and she sits down on the toilet without lowering anything. Which was interesting, right? She just sat down. It's not like she was ready to go.
It's a girl's thing. Like, it's always gonna be down.
No. I'm saying she didn't like pull her skirt down or anything.
Oh my god, that's true.
That's too funny. I guess she was shocked because she saw a red roll of toilet paper and a blue roll of toilet paper. And before she can make up her mind, though, there's sounds and noises, and she looks up, and there's a red devil. It crashes into the stall, attacks, but Denise Hemphill is not going to go down without a fight. And, she's about to get swirled into the toilet. She's like, I just got my hair did. So she somehow gets the upper hand, and she does a swirl to the red devil. She gets bumped out the stall. The door breaks down and everything, and she leaves the toilet, and leaves the bathroom, I should say, and as does the red devil, soaking wet. And so
I was so scared.
I know.
I was like, when I saw that scene, I was like, no.
When I saw that scene in the promo, I was like,
I
I hope she doesn't die.
The fact that she survived was cool. That taser wasn't hers though; it was the red devil's, right?
Correct, it was hers. She shoots her taser, and it goes up in the air, but it doesn't land on anybody, unfortunately.
But it provided a distraction.
It really did. And so Denise runs up to the girls who are packing up all their stuff because they have to hightail it out of Wallace University because the campus is going to be shut down because of all the killings and whatnot. And Denise is like, before anything can happen, I can't even leave the house. The Red Devil's here, but I can't even, walk down the stairs because, my blood pressure and my heart's going to pop out my chest. I need a scary story. And everyone's like, really? Really? And so they start off telling the scary story about the Meat Hook Killer, otherwise known as High Beams, or the killer in the back seat, which you can actually Wikipedia this. So here is the official legend. It's a common car crime urban legend, well known mostly in the United States and the United Kingdom. And here's the legend. The legend involves a woman who is driving and being followed in a strange car or truck. The mysterious pursuer flashes his high beams, tailgates her, and sometimes even rams her vehicle. When she finally makes it home, she realizes that the other driver was trying to warn her that there was a man, a murderer, rapist, or escaped mental patient hiding in the back seat. Each time the man sat up to attack her, the driver behind had used his high beams to scare the killer, in which he ducks down. In some versions, the woman stops for gas and the attendant asks her to come inside to sort out a problem with her credit card. Inside the station, he asks if she knows there's a man in her back seat. An example of this rendition can be seen in the 1998 episode of Millennium, the Pest House, I guess. In other, she sees a doll on the road in the moors, stops, and then the man gets in the back.
Who the hell stops for a doll in the middle of the fucking street?
Well, if it's the moors, I mean, that's in the UK, so you can ask the Brits why they do that.
You have to ask them why they're so generous about animals and shit like that. Because I know I seen it in Urban Legend with, Rebecca Gayheart in Tara Reid, like back in 1995, I want to say.
Oh, yeah, there was the Urban Legend movie. Yeah.
Yeah, right at the that's the first Urban Legend that they do in the whole movie.
I'm obsessed with that.
Oh, okay. I need to go rewatch that. So, okay, so after this, the scary story is said, Chanel number 5 is like, okay, I am done. I have had it. I'm packing up my bags. I'm driving away from Wallace University. I am done. And so she leaves, and everyone else is like, okay, let's wait till she gets down the stairs to make sure that the killer's gone. And so
Smart.
yes, so Chanel number 5
idea.
gets in her car, and she's driving away, and the Red Devil emerges from the back seat, ready to kill her. But she has her own truck driving savior, much like in the Meat Hook killer story, and so she stops eerily enough at a gas station that looks exactly like the one in the story, and she the guy gets out of his truck and he tries to tell her something, but then she kicks him in the groin and she's like, you need to stop doing that shit. And he's like trying to explain, he's like, there was someone in the back seat, this, that, or the other, and she ends up like trying to like understand what he's saying, but then he's like, he has a machete or something, and then he gets sliced and diced. She gets in her car, drives away back to the university, and she tells her story to everybody, and that's when Chanel responds with, please attempt to get attacked in a fresh and exciting way.
Why the hell would you go back? Why? Just go home. You already know that the killer's outside.
Right.
Chanel is not the smartest person. Although, if some strange person comes out at you, like, kick him in the nuts. Like, she's completely right about doing that. She doesn't know if he's going to help her or not.
That's very true. How did we like the
Scary.
interpretation of the meat hook, both in the I don't want to say flashback, in the scary story being told by Chanel number 6, in which she starred in it, and then in the real version with Chanel number 5.
I love how in the 50s that she's like some sock hop or weenie roast or something. Maybe
like
it's because like I've been playing so much Fallout, but I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. I love it.
I like the original better than the remake. I agreed with Chanel. I completely agreed with Chanel when she was like, really, we just heard the story. Like, can you figure out a way to get killed? Like, come on, we just heard the story. Like, real talk. I understand why they did it, because it's like, it's the same episode. You kind of want to stick to the nature. You wouldn't want to tell the story of this episode and then go do it like 3 episodes down.
And I also think
But-
it allowed us to maybe understand a little bit more. I think it was also a clue that Boone is working with one of the Kappa girls, because how in the hell would he know about the stories? Because we've all sort of maybe
Well,
guessed that it's
he-
Chanel number 3 and her earmuffs, and maybe that's how he's listening in.
Oh no, because remember at the very beginning he's talking to the other Red Devil and he's like, so how's Zayday doing? So the person he's talking to, the other Red Devil, can't be Chanel number 3 because she interrupted that call. And it has to be someone that's in the sorority or knows about the sorority.
Okay, that's the part. Because my whole theory was, because even after seeing their interaction, I was like, well, maybe they were play acting in public. But now that is true. He was talking to the phone, and it was not Gigi, because they had mentioned, he had mentioned Gigi, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He's
no,
talking
this
to the other Red
episode
Devil.
definitely. Yeah, this episode definitely like opened my eyes and gave me kind of like a hint of who the Red Devil is. Like, because we all thought it was Chanel number 3. That was
Yeah.
that was. A
I
real
have an
threat,
interesting
and that's why
theory
she
that I
was
can't wait to
frazzled.
share with all of you. It's going to blow your
Absolutely.
minds.
I don't
Then
know.
you better
It
go
might be-
first because I need to get
Yeah,
to
you might, because I think we're all gonna fuck you in a
What?
bad way.
Oh my.
In a bad way, because we're just gonna probably say something that you were gonna say, and we're good for that. So you might want to go first this time.
I will. I'm excited to share my theory. Okay, so we'll get to that a little bit later on in the broadcast. So continuing on, we have her, returning, Chanel number 5, and so they've already called the police and put an APB out on Boone. Zayday obviously is fraught because of Earl Grey, and at some point, a little bit later on, the dean gets called in, and the police and everything, and they're they brought a sketch artist, and they're like, but you have 50,000 pictures of Boone, why do you need a sketch artist? Because he was like, I want y'all to try and think and shut your eyes and remember what Boone looks like. I'm like,
it's totally a Criminal Minds thing, because that's exactly what they do every single fucking time. I want you to close your eyes and think about this. Like, I don't know if it's something that police sketch artists do, but it's something that happens every single fucking episode in Criminal Minds.
yeah, no, but it was funny because they're on a university campus, which, I mean, at least they'll have, like, his photo on record. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone has to get a student ID that has a picture on it. So it's kind of stupid how he's like, describe what he looks like. I'm like, really? And the detective is so incompetent that he brought in, like, a paranormal investigator because he believes that the killer has to be a ghost. Like, I've been doing my research and these past couple weeks, and I've come to the conclusion that the Red Devil is a ghost, which boggles even the dean. And she had an amazing line. She was like, I'm going to ruin you. I'm going to let everybody know that you wanted to nurse after we had sex.
Dude, that was incredible. I was rolling. She was just like, let me demasculate you, you idiot, because that's all you are, is an idiot. She pretty much just called him an idiot.
Moron.
Yeah, she pretty much just called him an idiot like 30 million times in that sentence without actually having to say he was an idiot.
Exactly.
The examiner or something like that. Number one, he had dope on his shirt, which made me crack up. And number two,
I saw that.
He wasn't even picked for like the sci-fi series or anything like that. He was like second in line. Why the hell are you choosing him?
He didn't get on Ghost Adventures or whatever. Ghost Investigators on Discovery.
Yeah, not a good pick.
Yeah, no paranormal witness for you.
Exactly. Total Ghostbustersing, but like
exactly
with emphasis on the busted.
So we have the dean visiting with Zayday and Grace, and basically she didn't go to apologize, but she did go to drop some information. Basically, she drops the information that Grace had found out the previous week that, in fact, there are twins. There is a girl twin that was expunged from the bathtub mama Kappa girl after she was dead. She let out a wail, and then another baby shot out her cooch, apparently.
The death gurgle.
Yes. And so, which confirms to them that there are twins out there, and they sort of, come to the realization that Boone must be the boy twin. Dun dun dun. And so we have Boone. He's holed up in a fancy schmancy hotel. I guess that's where he was going to go bang Zayday. Who knows? And making small talk with someone dressed up in the Red Devil costume, his sister, and they're waiting for Gigi because they're like, we're done with Gigi, it's time, she's cutting corners, she's doing this, she's, this is our thing now, like, we don't need her to tell us what to do. So Gigi arrives, and basically she's like, what the hell have you been doing, Boone? This plan is going haywire. You're not sticking to the plan. You're improvising, and you're ruining everything. This is revenge that has been, going on for decades, and you're doing it wrong. And so he's basically, getting face to face with her, and basically is ready to tell her that we're done with you. We're going to be doing our own thing, and it's over. And so when it seems as if the person in the Red Devil costume was about to slice and dice Gigi, they actually slice and dice Boone. So stabbing Boone in the chest, and all Gigi wants is room service. And then at the end of the episode, we have the ladies at the Kappa house, and Chanel number 6 arrives. And, prior to Chanel number 6 arriving, the other Chanels were planning Chanel number 6's murder, because they're like, we need to get her, and this, that, or the other. She can't go to the Radwell house for Thanksgiving. So Chanel number 6 arrives, and through the process of snacks and such, cheese and champagne and what was the other thing? Sushi. They figured out that Chanel number 6 is in fact not pregnant. She admits it, but she's like, too bad, Chad already booked my plane ticket to the Radwell compound in the Hamptons anyway. So she leaves. Chanel is...
I'm like, they're rich. Couldn't you just cancel it and put in the other one?
Exactly. Well, Chanel number 6 didn't know this apparently. And so Chanel number 1 is pissed. This is too much for her to handle, and she yells for Chanel number 6 to stop, and she's like, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm wrong, everything's okay, rainbows and unicorns, you're my favorite one, just get a little bit close to me. She gets close enough, and then bam, she pushes her down the stairs, killing her. And Chanel ends up saying, what I did will become a new ghost story, a cautionary tale about what happens when hog-faced bitches try to steal Hotter Kappa's boyfriends. Dun dun dun.
On the one hand, if it's true, she just created her own urban legend and kind of like circled around the entire episode, and that's good. On the other, if that snap was just the neck brace hitting and snapping and not her actual neck, then we might actually have who the Red Devil killers, who the other twin is.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I wanted to know for sure that she's dead, because with this show, if you're not completely and totally sure that someone's dead,
they might not be dead.
No, they come back. Yeah, they boon it. So.
That's very true. So we don't know 100% if it was her neck brace cracking or if it was her neck, but apparently they're going to take her to the freezer anyway. So final thoughts on the episode, on the 100% death of Boone and the potential death of Chanel number 6.
I love how you don't even mention the Earl Grey death, because...
Well, we did earlier in the episode, so we don't have to...
No, but listing at the very back, and that's because his death was super throwaway. I think only Zayde gave a shit about it.
Poor Zayde. She'll be fine.
Yeah, if Chanel number 5 was fine with both of her boyfriends dying, Zayde will be okay.
Exactly. So let's discuss Boone and potentially Hester's death.
Yeah, Boone was the one I wasn't expecting. I wasn't although I'm glad that he did. Like I mentioned earlier, I kind of think it made it come full circle, but I wasn't expecting him to go out like that. They're just having a random conversation, and then all of a sudden he's getting stabbed. And it's and you mentioned, Gigi was she was she was totally unfazed. It was yo, she really is insane. So we had a lot of narrow downing of who could possibly be the last Red Killer, the Red Devil. So we'll get to that in a second, though. But yeah, those were 2 random deaths. And Hester, I think that you said that's Leah Michelle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if you got. Was there a stunt actor? Because that looked like her going down the steps. And that was pretty awesome if that was actually her. So shout out to Leah if that was actually you going down those steps and not a stunt double. But yeah, that was a lot of steps to go down for a chick with a jacked up neck. So I'm pretty much assuming she's dead. She went down kind of hard. Yeah,
she really did, didn't she?
God, that steps were circular. It's really bad for you if you're just woo, going down.
Right? I'm damn, aren't you gonna hit a wall and just stop?
That's a telenovela staircase. In telenovelas, they're always falling down the stairs.
Mm-hmm,
yeah, but they always make it, or they don't they're always no, I'm paralyzed, but I'm okay. But Wilson's right. Her back was already fucked up already, so she might be dead. That's I want confirmation.
Yeah, I need confirmation because I feel like she's not dead. But then I'm if she is dead, at least that's a good way to die. I'm at least she didn't get killed by the Red Devil. She just got killed by Chanel. That puts 2 on Chanel.
I know, she's the second most killingest person on the show besides the Red Devils. The Dean has only killed 1.
Absolutely. I'm like, her body count's going high. I'm like, I'm just wondering who's gonna die next, and is it gonna be from Chanel or the Red Devil?
Chanel and Gigi are stone cold. They don't give a fuck if they know you. They're just gonna kill you.
As for Boone, I'm like, yeah, I saw that coming. I'm like, just the way they had that set up, and just the fact of the matter is, yo, he's fucking up their plan. I'm like, they're gonna get caught up because of him. So it's like you need to get rid of him, and not for nothing, it makes sense because that's what Gigi was talking about earlier. So that means this Red Devil has been plotting back and forth with the two of them until they made up their mind. Because Gigi said a few episodes back, handle him before we have to get rid of him or something shit like that. When he tried to take Zayday on the date.
Mm-hmm. Oakland nachos.
Yeah. So
gross.
that means Boone's been fucking up from a while now. So you should only imagine that the other twin at this point is like, yo, we've spent all our time doing this and you're going to fuck up. And I already talked to you because Gigi's already asked me to. And you're still fucking up?
Mm-hmm. All he wanted was a taste of that poontang pie.
So she was,
black.
so
Once you go black, you don't go back. He wanted to go back.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God, right?
Because it's real.
Chad and him are such bros. That was so cute. That Chad, like, and that kind of proves it during the Backstreet's Back like fight. He was probably the one that held back and didn't kill like Chad when he was on the ground.
Yeah.
I'm still wondering who the other Red Devil is, but like
I have a theory.
we'll get to that theories. Ooh.
Yeah, I really want to get to because like we gotta there's like that little those puzzles you used to do back in school where this is Mary has an apple and everybody has this and all that and you got to figure out who's what and all
Who's
this
got the
other
pair
crap based off the wording. Yeah, like that's exactly what like and
Did
we
you
got a
compare it
lot
to
of that in this
Red
episode. So
Yeah.
Well, let's get into
I
it
want
then.
to hear everyone's theories before I give mine.
Okay, so do we want to get into theories? Everyone done discussing the episode?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into campus superlatives. Who do we think will survive until... who do we think, sorry, I should say. Who are the killers? And who are the 4 survivors at the end of the season? So I guess I have to go first. So there are 3 killers. Gigi, obviously. Boone, rest in pieces. And the third person. Okay, this one's going to blow everyone's mind. I think the third person is Pete. Pete is the girl.
That wouldn't make sense because he's a bitch.
Oh no, that he got a sex change.
Yes,
like Pretty Little
I don't
Liars.
think I now no longer believe any of the Chanels are involved in it. And I think Pete had a sex change and
it's crossed my mind.
is the girl, bathtub baby.
What?
And it makes
How did
sense
we
to
get
me.
Pete in a sex
It makes sense to me because he already had the Red Devil costume. He knows a whole lot. He's he's doing all this supposed research when he might already know everything. After they went and visited the former Kappa girl in her trailer park home, she got killed, and because he's involved with Grace, he could know a lot of stuff that's going on in the Kappa house, or he might even have planted bugs and whatnot, or dipped into Chanel's feed of the house, and that's how he knows what's going on inside of the house. But I feel like it could be him. And the characters also have to be somewhat near the same age. Unless, of course, she's lying, and we really don't know the age of the Lea Michele character, because she's the only one with dark hair. I could see Boone and Pete being related.
Huh. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and as far as who survives, I think 2 of them is obvious. Grace and Zayday. And I'll add in Chanel Oberlin for good measure. And now that I can no longer say Lea Michele, because I thought she would survive, because in my mind I think she's dead, I'm going to add in our homegirl, Denise Hemphill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so now you think that she'll live? Because
Yeah.
last time you were just kind of like, she's gonna die.
I
She's
well,
gonna die.
she survived a fight with the Red Devil. I still think the Dean is going to survive too, but if I'm sort of like placing who's going to survive, at least in this list, like people that would potentially come back for another season. And I don't see Jamie Lee coming back, especially if they're going to move it to a new location. They're not going to need a Dean. But Denise Hemphill, she could get a job working wherever. You know, she wants to lay on the beach at Sandals and, eat pineapples and stuff.
Yep.
And she's going to have a whole lot of money with her $3 million. So.
She hasn't even gotten the 300,000
Well,
yet.
we don't know. I'm hoping she did. So who wants to go next?
I'll go. If Hester's not dead, then I'm going with Hester. But
As the killer?
if she
As
yes,
the third killer.
as the third killer, because we already know who the two are, so we don't even have to go over that again. And if she is truly dead, I'm gonna go with Chanel number 5. Reason I say this because if the Red Devil was in the back seat and he wanted to kill her, he would have killed her. I think maybe they were talking like furthermore plans. It was like Boone was in the outfit because he was in the house. And I think that's the story she came running back with. Because relatively speaking, I think her and Boone already had like a brother sibling banter like thing at the beginning that kind of was just like I just kind of always felt like she's the odd one out. Like it's not Chanel number 3 because she really didn't. She really believed that Boone was a ghost. Like she really went along with that.
Chanel number 3 was talking to Boone and thought he was a ghost. So
yeah,
it
like
eliminates
you, she's completely eliminated, and I don't even think Predatory Les met Pete. So for her to be like, I knew it was you. And I don't think she suspected Boone because she thought Boone was dead.
Yeah, so it's I forgot about that. It's someone that Predatory Les knows.
So I'm sticking to that. Like, Predatory Les kind of was like at the beginning was like, yo, I know who you is. I knew it was you. So I'm kind of going with her. So I'm like, maybe it's someone she truly actually knew. And who would she suspect? The crazy friggin' Chanel that's always getting friggin' attacked and bullied and all types of crap. So I'm going with Chanel number 5. And as my survivors, I'm going with Zayday. I'm going with Grace. I'm going with Grace's dad because Grace, duh, she's gonna try to save her daddy. And Chanel.
Interesting. Not to burst your theory's bubble, but when she said, I always knew it was you, what if it was Gigi dressed up as the Red Devil that time?
No, because he's like Boone is like, she's killing our style. She comes out in a Justice Scalia costume.
But who says before that she hadn't borrowed one of their suits? You know what I'm saying?
Then why would he get mad if she didn't have if there was one?
Yeah, I don't think she initially had a suit at all. I think she was just kind of the planner. In that one time she got involved, I think they're the suit people.
Okay, I can dig it. Who wants? Priscilla wants to go last, so Wilson, go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do my people who survived first, and I'm going Grace and Zayday, of course. I'm also gonna say Denise because I think Scream Queens, as we know it, is season 1 is it. It'll be one of those one and done, but the spinoff will do better than the show is doing for some reason. Then the show is going to be more centered around Denise Hemphill. That's kind of my feeling. The spinoff. And then I'm gonna say also who survives. Probably I'm gonna say Chanel Oberlin, and simply because she's just, I don't know. I don't think she's gonna go out like that. Like either that or she'll be like the last person who gets killed. So I might be wrong about that. And the Dean, I don't know what's gonna happen with the Dean. So that's kind of like my 4.5. Because it's kind of, they count as half and half because I don't know. But so for sure I know too, but like it's kind of weird. And then as far as the third Red Devil, I was kind of thinking Chanel number 5 off and on as I saw throughout the episode. But I'm also kind of leaning, it's kind of weird to say, and I don't know why I keep saying it, and I know it doesn't make sense, but for some reason, I don't know. I keep thinking Zayday still has a hand in it for some reason. I don't know why. I know Boone was protecting her and all that other crap, and she couldn't have been the devil, but I don't. Maybe her grandma.
It's
You have
just
listened. You have been listening
It-
too much to Denise Hemphill.
You really have.
right,
Yeah,
right.
I'm,
'Cause
I'm
I'm
being.
telling
Yeah,
you,
The baby is not
either
stay
that
black.
on
or
my,
it's,
stay on
yeah,
my.
being totally silly. It's got either that or it's Denise. Like
It
I
is
know it sounds silly,
Denise.
Oh my
She
god!
had
I
Why did you
accelerated
tell me?
aging.
No,
but
you, yo,
I'm
you
being,
should
I'm being,
never
I'm being.
aged
As you can
from.
tell, I can't tell. I don't know who the third person is. That's why I'm being silly. That's like
No,
I
come to
thought
my side.
I thought it could be
Because
Chanel
guess what?
number
I
5 for
just
some
can't
reason.
see it being Chanel number 5 because of that whole
just-
scene with the car. Like, why would he be like getting up
Guess what?
with the machete or the hook or whatever, and like
Right.
the people in the back having to flash their lights? Like, why would that have happened if
Exactly.
Okay.
she's in
I
on
have
it?
a
That's
good theory for this.
that's exactly what throws Chanel number 5
See,
Yeah.
out
Well,
of
I'm excited to
control.
hear Priscilla.
Alibi,
They
so
killed the
I'm
witch.
sorry.
So Chanel number 5 has been the one that's had the most Red Devil like strikes against her. So it would be the perfect cover if she's always been the one that's like really scared and the Red Devil's been targeting, but it's always been her. And think about it, like there's always been a chance that Boone would have been the one in there because Boone was the one roaming around the house when Roger got killed. She was running around like also when like Dodger got killed, and he could have been there in the car while she was driving, and she was fine. Like she was never gonna get hurt. So in that
Exactly.
sense, like she's got the
And they
perfect
killed
But
cover.
what would
if
have
it
been
is
the
Shaun of
point
Five.
of
What?
that? Just so that she has a story like the Red Devil was in my car?
Uh-huh.
Exactly. And they were
But why
talking.
would she have to
and
actually do that? Why couldn't she have just said it?
Because there has to be a body, and the trucker's body was there. Like
Exactly.
there has
There
to be
has to be a
some
body
way
with
for
a
her to
story. She
leave.
can't just say, I got chased, because they're going to be like, oh my God, Chanel number 5, you're always trying to get attention. Cut the shit. So it's like, oh, and then I pulled over and kicked this trucker, and then they killed the witness.
But she's not the one I'm actually gonna go with as the
Oh.
killer.
She was just helping my case.
Yeah. Do you know who I think the killer is? And it's a really weird, crazy, like zany
I
theory.
can't wait.
I think it's Candle Girl because
So she's a
Her-
freshman, though. It's like Grace's age. It has to be someone older.
how?
Wait,
How do you
let's
know that?
let's
that she's
get her
not Boone's age?
theory. Yeah.
Okay,
Before
go ahead.
you
Go
start
ahead. Let me hear. Go
disproving
ahead.
it.
Go ahead. Go. I
Well,
was just going
because
by age.
because if you saw like how intricate like Boone's like death shrine was, and the fact that he used a ton of candles, that means someone helped him there. And Candle Girl's death was also like her turning into a giant candle. And she seems to have been the one that like knows the most about everyone and like their reasoning into like why they couldn't be a killer or something like that. She's also in the sorority. And the last thing is like she's got pale skin and brown hair the same way Boone was. So I was just kind of like, who looks like Boone, who could be their twin, and who would be the one that would surprise you the most? And I thought it would be Candle Girl. Plus,
Hmm.
Predatory Les would have been like, I knew it was you. It supports that part.
That's fascinating. You just blew my mind, Priscilla.
It's a zany theory. Like it's out there. But if it happens, I would be stoked.
It would be hilarious.
As for who survives, Grace goes bah. Like she's the main character. She has to survive.
She's the final girl.
Yes. Zayday, because she's smart. She's been able to curtail like the Red Devil for the longest time. And I just think she's interesting. Chanel, because she's the other like lead. And Chad, because he can't die. He's funny as hell.
You always
That
say
if he
Chad. You're
survived
such
like
a
a
loyal-
ghost house, he's fine.
You're such a loyal Chad follower because you keep Chad surviving in every
Yeah,
one.
she really does.
Yes.
She's like, make
Everyone
it
else
happen.
is like
Actually, you know, I
Denise,
think-
and I'm like Chad.
I kind of want to take my Zayday back though, kind of, because you know what? I kind of feel like the Red Devil's gonna come for Zayday because that's why she had to kill her brother.
Yeah, I know. We all keep on
Wow,
saying
that-
Zayday's gonna survive, and then she gets killed in the next episode or something.
Yeah, I kind of feel like there's gonna be some revenge on that one because it's like you made me kill my brother because he fucked up the plan because you.
So are we
like-
gonna go to Oakland? Because like we know that Grace and Zayday are gonna go to Oakland for Thanksgiving.
Well, wouldn't they follow the main characters?
Red Devil ain't going to Oakland.
Nah, I can tell you right now, they're probably not. Any of them probably aren't even going to be able to leave.
Well, we know that Chanel's gonna go to the Chad
compound.
The Chadwell.
Oh yeah.
Chadwell's
That's when
Thanksgiving.
Chad's gonna die. I think Chanel's gonna kill Chad.
She can't. That like they're supposed to get married and have like two rich people like coming together.
Yeah, it's a thin line between love and hate.
That's what Martin Lawrence said.
Well, I think Chanel. Yeah, they're gonna go to Thanksgiving dinner, and Chad's gonna do something he shouldn't do, or something's gonna get revealed, and she's gonna be like, "Oh, really?" And that's gonna be the end of Chad Radwell.
Oh, really? I guess we'll have to find out. So, since we're talking about the future, anyway, let's get into our spoiler section. It's time to get a little spoilery. Let's dive into some spoilers for upcoming episodes of Scream Queens. This is an official spoiler alert. You can check out our official Facebook like page by visiting facebook.com/PCRAreYouAfraid.
Spoiler alert.
So let's start off with ratings. Scream Queens was viewed by 2.4 million total viewers with 0.9 in the key demographic of 18 to 49. It was steady with the previous week. We do have a press release.
0.9's not
Wait,
bad.
go ahead.
0.9's not bad. 0.9 isn't canceled.
Correct, especially for Fox, which its other series aren't necessarily doing as well. Yeah. So let's get into a press release for an upcoming episode. This is episode 111. It is titled Black Friday, and it airs on December 1st. The Red Devil crashes Black Friday on an all-new Scream Queens. After the horror-filled events of Thanksgiving, the Chanels decide to celebrate their favorite holiday, Black Friday, but the Red Devil has plans to stop their shopping spree. When the Kappas conclude that Dean Munch is the killer, they set a plan in motion to stop her once and for all. Meanwhile, Denise lands yet another job. Chad offers Pete a chance to join the Dickie Dollar Scholars, and someone confesses to being the murderer in an all-new Black Friday episode of Scream Queens, this episode airs on Tuesday, December 1st on Fox. And
oh my god, you scared me for a while being like, and that Dean is the killer. I'm like, how the fuck is she the other twin?
Exactly. And so let me go over the guest cast list, because this might be a little bit interesting for some of you. Niecy Nash, of course, Denise Hemphill. Detective Chisholm is back, as well as Caulfield, Dodger, and Roger. I sense flashbacks.
Right.
Or a reason, like them as ghosts coming to Chad being like, we need someone else to come to the Dickie Dollar Scholars. That would be awesome.
Exactly, yeah. You've lost a lot of members or something like that. So Denise is going to get another job. Pete might be joining Dickie Dollars. Someone confesses to being the murderer, and the Kappas think that Dean Munch is the killer, which makes no sense. For us, at least.
Yeah. But the Kappas have been really stupid about who the killer is. First they thought it was Zayday, then they thought it was Grace, and both of them were like the farthest thing from being the killer.
Exactly. Interesting stuff. So certainly some interesting things to anticipate in the future. Speaking about the future, join us next time for a brand new installment of Are You Afraid? Scream Queens. Visit PapiChuloRadio.com/archives to download this episode and many more. Registered users will gain access to our archives of previously aired broadcasts. Please like us on Facebook by going to Facebook.com/PCRAreYouAfraid. You can also like Papi Chulo Radio on Facebook by going to Facebook.com/PapiChuloRadio. You can email us with any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns at contact@PapiChuloRadio.com. Co-hosts wish the listeners a good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Flush the toilet before you use it.
Yeah, pick the right toilet paper color.
Thanks.
None.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for a brand new installment of Are You Afraid? Scream Queens. Good night, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving.